got a minivan. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't get that now?
We had a minivan before we had kids.
We got like 3 now.
3?
We have 2.
Yeah. Me and Cal both like minivans.
I'd like a minivan. Be very useful.
You ever had one?
No.
What do you have?
RAV4.
Mm.
It only sits 5.
No, you need a minivan. Like you need like a.
The doors don't have to. Right, the doors
Yeah.
come back.
It'd be better to have like an old school bus and like renovate it.
No,
No.
The-
Gas
costs a lot
would
of
be
money.
too bad.
Well,
no.
so the
go see Slayer.
minivans like have this certain, like she said, like so like we have like 2013 Toyota Sienna. You're
Mhm.
probably getting it for like 15, 20 grand now, but it's fully loaded, captain chairs, and you can roll down the windows in the van. You can hit the center and you pop the trunk. So like I can do it on my keypad, but like it slides all the doors for you.
Mhm.
Like if you got it, like when Oliver was getting potty trained, like
You had a
it had a toilet in there.
But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And but it's got
Road trip, you don't
sunshades
have
and
to stop.
and it gets like 22
money.
miles a gallon. I mean, they're not the coolest things to look at, but to drive them,
Functionality.
they're relaxing.
What about the maroon one? Did you see Cal's maroon one? Did you see what he did to it?
Lowered it, bagged it.
No, he bought it bagged.
Yeah.
He sent me a picture. I said, "What is different about this?" No, I saw him at a gas station. I know, and it was bagged in. I said, "No, you didn't."
Do you still got your Tesla? Do
I do.
you like it?
I do.
You love it?
I love it
Over the van.
when I'm by myself. You can't take the kids in there. The kids will trash
The
it,
vans
yeah.
are like, so Emily wanted a RAV4, but I'm saying like, get you a Toyota Sienna, it'll change your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really will, because they drive amazing.
Ooh, I don't
They really do. Vans drive good.
Especially because you travel.
And you
Yeah.
can, but you see everything around you.
We have been known to sleep in the car on road trips, like on the way to Dollywood. You know, you leave late, sleep in the car, Waffle House for a few hours, and then go to Dollywood. Saves you on hotels. I mean, it's very uncomfortable.
You sleep in your vehicle?
I mean, it's just for a few hours.
That's awesome.
So you're gonna pay like $200 to sleep for 3 hours?
So you're like a minimalist, right?
I guess you could say.
No, that's
that.
got to be you. Like,
She's
I mean,
practical.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in, in getting a hotel for like 3 hours. Nah, you just sleep in the car and then you take shifts and driving. You get to Dollywood and you're ready to go. You sleep that night, you're good.
how often do you do that?
Usually once a year when we go on vacation in North Carolina.
So how many kids you got?
2.
And this is in a RAV4?
Well, so yes, but we'll borrow my father-in-law's vehicle, so we'll have a little bit more room sometimes. But we usually bring my daughter's friend Arlie, so it'll be the 5 of us. They're adventurous.
5. So, and then like, how about showering? You just go to like the racetrack? No, what's that? Love's?
The trucking company. The full service.
Do you have your own small shower in the back hooked up?
No, we just go on.
That's cool though. I mean, that's
You wipe yourself.
We shower before we leave.
That's what I was gonna. And then you go hang out.
Yeah,
park
we're
all
at the theme park.
shout out to my mom for always having her spot in Gatlinburg since the 80s.
Oh wow, yeah.
That me and my mom, I think 80, probably 89, 90. We've always had a spot at Treetops in downtown Gatlinburg.
Awesome.
My mom does not like beaches. She likes Gatlinburg. So I grew up most of my life in Gatlinburg.
Oh,
But not like, I'm talking like, not like Searville or
yeah.
Pigeon Forge. I'm talking Gatlinburg, where it's like real, like the smaller downtown where the Amish are there. If you go there, you can buy a lot of handmade stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
cool.
I mean, yeah, their butter's way better. Let's be honest. Have you had an Amish butter before?
No, but you just had body butter.
Oh yeah.
So whose body butter is this?
So Magnolia. So it's a local company. And I've been wanting to stop there, and we stopped there this weekend. But we came kind of late, but the customer service they were sweet. They're really nice.
Where's that? Where are they located?
Right in the promenade.
Kind of a Dickies.
Okay. So this is like a local person who
Barbecue.
makes like, you got to make more than lotions, right? To have that spot.
Soaps,
Okay.
Lip gloss.
lip gloss.
Got some lip gloss.
All organic.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't ask for that. Is that right? All organic?
It has to be
It
like,
has to be.
I mean, yeah. I just assumed.
like that's the whole
It was
concept behind it,
reasonably
right?
priced. They had free samples. I mean, you can't beat that.
You can't.
I do
They
like
drew
free
us in.
samples.
Yeah.
That's why I love Sam's Club.
Yes.
Come on, like everybody likes the free samples at Sam Clubs. All right, guys, we're about to hit the show. Tune in. I love you guys. We got 2 nurse practitioners. One's running for office in Ocean Springs. This is going to be epic. Mom, if you're watching, I love you. And we're about to get into the show.
We offer home, auto, commercial, builders, reps, and life insurance.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots Insurance.
The Joe and Daryl Podcast.
Thank you. Oh, goodness.
Because if not, people are going to be texting y'all. We got this. Give us a second, guys. We're just sharing this around. Hold on. No, it's got family and stuff that, like, even if you send, like, a lot of them, they'll go through Facebook, but if you send them, like, a link, they'll click the link, and they'll, I don't know. My parents will watch it on YouTube. And,
Did your parents live here locally?
I would say kind of. Their main house is St. Martin,
Mm-hmm.
and then they have a spot on Porter Avenue right behind Lazy Oak, and then in Jackson, Mississippi.
So where do they predominantly keep their time?
I don't know. Right now, I feel like they're not here. My stepdad's a lobbyist, so he's a Millsaps attorney.
Mm-hmm.
He's 78 years old, just a beast.
Awesome.
But yeah, we got a session coming up, and you're gonna be there January 8th, right?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. So January 8th, we're just gonna go up there. But he's been doing it for 40 years.
Wow.
It's fun. Yeah, it's like one of our pins, Morningside.
Okay, I might need glasses to see that part of it.
All right. Well, we're in this. Okay. All right. Number one, who are you? What are you doing at my house? Start with you two.
Oh, we are family.
I know, but
We go way back.
I know, but like, where are you from, girl?
I grew up in New Orleans on the West Bank.
You're proud of that. No, that is West. Like when you know it, though, it's like West Bank for life. Okay.
It's
What year did you move here?
1997.
Okay.
Right after high school. Cal and I moved down here.
So, did becoming a nurse? Was it nurse right first? You have to be a nurse first, then nurse practitioner.
Correct.
Why would you want to be a nurse starting out?
Why wouldn't you want to be?
I don't know. It seems like
I
a
would-
lot of
yeah, I would know
pressure.
that. Isn't anything?
Yeah, but no, you got to take care of other people.
That
I
is,
mean,
yeah.
in a family. If you have a family, aren't you taking care of little people? I mean, your son, you're taking care of him.
Were you did you have a little family when you got into nursing?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah. I mean, there comes. Did you have a family when you were became a nurse?
Well,
Good
not
point,
that kind of
no.
family we have.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a weird situation where like you're. No, don't get me wrong. I love doctors, but let's be honest. Doctors, I mean, y'all come in first. You're the ones that are in the front line. I've always noticed that. Nurses are just like they're different. But like that, I mean, so for instance, let's go into for both of y'all. But I'll say right now is being a nurse is very. I mean, you have to take on a lot.
You do. So I got into nursing. Even when I was younger, I just knew that I was going to end up in the medical field helping people. I just knew that. I didn't know, though, I was going to be a nurse. When I moved here to the Gulf Coast, we didn't have many options. And I actually went to the community college, Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. And when I looked at the programs and medical, you had nursing, x-ray, and respiratory therapy. So my thought process was, well, let me get into nursing school. And then when I finish school in a couple of years, I can come out. If I absolutely hate it, I'll have a job anyway, so I can go back to school. I'm a nerd.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, but that was kind of like the start for you.
That was the start for me. And what happened was I fell in love with it.
The graveyard shifts?
I started off a night shift on an orthopedic floor. And I loved orthopedics so much because in that field, when you break a bone or you have surgery, people will get better, versus like the long-term stuff. So I did that. I did graveyard shift for almost 10 years. I had the best mentor. And when I was kind of done with that, kind of outgrew that role, I went to recovery room and learned a lot from there. So I got closer to orthopedic surgery in that sense. But and then after that, I went to an eye clinic, an eye surgery center. So I was still in surgery, sort of, but not where I really want to be. And I had the perfect job, and it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the perfect job. But then when I
It's
left,
12 hours, right? The shift's is it
It
12?
depends.
For
Yeah,
y'all when
it
y'all first started,
varies.
it's like at the very beginning, it's 12
mhm,
hours.
12 or 16 if you want to take a little extra. You're already there. So what's 4 more?
That's a lot.
when you're young,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that
Those were
now.
good days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you did that. So you did 10 years of graveyard. What
Mhm.
made you go, you know what? I'm gonna take it and go back to school.
There was I knew that I didn't want to go back to school because it meant more schoolwork and I didn't want to do it. But
You're the same way with Emily. Like Emily teaches at Pearl River Community College, and she's got her master's,
Yeah.
and she teaches from home now. But I'm like, you're so close to getting your doctorates in education.
Mhm.
She's like, no, I don't want to do the work. I was like, all right. She's like,
It's
no, I
hard.
don't, because she sits there and watches a lot of her friends that went and became doctors in that field, and she's like, no, because
Why would I, some of my early thoughts were like, why would I want that kind of responsibility? Why would I want to know all that, everything? Why all these different medications, interactions, diagnosis, just trying to figure out problems? Like, why would I want to carry that load? Like,
how long did it take? So what was the process? So was it 4 years for nursing?
So, well, I started and got my associate's degree. So I kind of piecemealed it. I went to JC and then to USM.
It's
and
Harvard
then
on the highway for people on the coast.
I mean, it was. I really liked it.
It's
It was
really-
good. It
We
was,
turned out good.
It was right by my house. My mom passed away when I was 20, so it was a good way for me to kind of get on my feet. She was a nurse for 35 years, so I watched her and how much she cared for her patients, and then in turn how much they cared for her. A lot.
Is associates? Is that an LPN?
No,
No.
it's just associate degree nursing and ADN nursing license. I think LPN. How long is that now? It's
Maybe
like, is it 2?
when I was maybe a 9-month program, and the scope of practice is a lot less than a registered nurse.
Really? So altogether, like how many years you got in?
So we both have master's degrees, which would, if we would have went straight through, it'd be 6 years.
But in your master's degree, is it all medical, or is it like you can do whatever you want? Like you can like have it psychology, or could
So
It's-
we're both family nurse practitioners.
It's a master's degree in nursing. So yeah, so like they're family nurse practitioners. They're
There's psychiatric nurse
yeah,
practitioners,
just it kind of depends on where you want to
acute
focus.
care nurse practitioners, a lot of specialties too.
Women's health nurse practitioners. So yeah.
do y'all know Jared Seymour?
I
Yes.
don't.
So I grew up with Jared Seymour. He actually is the one that started getting me in a podcast, and 6 years ago, he's a nurse anesthetist.
That's
Awesome.
right.
But I
He-
watched him become a nurse, and like him and Heather didn't have any money when they started. Like they were trying to figure out, debt,
Mhm.
school loans, and man, I'm so proud of him. But he went straight. He did nursing. He worked graveyard, and then
Mhm.
I think it mainly was Hattiesburg,
Mhm.
and then I think she's a nurse practitioner now. Heather Seymour, his wife, but I think she just did it last year. But like he went to nurse, and then he went nurse anesthetist.
That's right.
But it was
Mhm.
mainly for him. It was like I gotta have a better life for my family. So he
Mhm.
went straight in, like he gave everything to it. And to this day, is like he'll tell you, like he has a big podcast, Brownwater Banter, this
Mhm.
podcast, and then the sound. But it's like if I can just do podcasting and film, I would rather do that. For him,
Yeah.
it was so because he went through so many levels.
Yeah.
It's just a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, kind of when you said nurse practitioner, so that's a lot of school. Well, I mean, a lot of hands-on school. That's one thing is like, yeah, you went to school, but how many, like y'all were always in, so you can't become a nurse practitioner without going through the process, correct?
Mhm. I was a nurse for 5 years, and then decided I wanted to go back and make more decisions for myself. Wanted more autonomy, so that was the way to go.
Do you love it?
I do. Getting to help people and talk to them, and I like visiting with people, so it's a good way for me to visit and talk and help folks too.
Do y'all work together?
We've never worked together.
We work similar roles, but not together.
Same company?
So I used to work for BN Orthopedics, and then I left after I had Dom. I love that job, but I love Dom more. The surgery hours were too long, and we tried to make it work, but it didn't work out, and that's okay. But I'd already left the company.
Dom's gonna do body shop work.
Yeah, he told me. He said maybe I want to go to. He told me, he said, I think I might want to be homeschooled next year. I said, where did this come from?
Oh my.
Hmm.
And he said, I think I can get my work done in like 2 hours. And I said, you can.
I
if
think
you're
we're about to put all our kids in there because like we're pulling Oliver by you.
He said that you're going to swing by every day.
Yeah,
Is that right?
that's what we're working
Well, you
on.
can just homeschool Dom, right?
I mean, Emily can do more, but Emily can do more. I mean, if we have to get to the situation with our friends, like we have to put it together, yeah, we can. It's just the
That'd be
school
cool.
system's different, and I know it'll come back, but I think the biggest thing is more hands-on. That's how I like this podcast is me learning how to fail with nothing.
Trial and error.
Yeah, it's just that's it. Closer Depot is her body shop and a family shop to me, and
Yeah.
but I watched that thing become this small to, this, but it's hard work. I mean, and Dom's at a point now where, like Cal was talking about, was like he can scuff, he can sand, and it's I mean, it's a
Really?
trade. Yeah, it's a real trade. It's a
Wow.
family trade. But like to me, that's education. That's something that like people are missing out on. Like there's people that can go to school and you can get a certificate, but you got to like go to work. Like y'all did it. Y'all had a work graveyard 10 years. You had to do it for 5 years. Like you
yeah.
you couldn't just become a nurse practitioner. You
Yeah,
had a
you
white
have
butt.
to
Y'all both
put-
white butts.
Oh yes.
I still do if I needed to.
I know, but it was that level.
You do. I mean, there's a lot more autonomy. We have a little bit more say so in our schedule flexibility. Those are some of the reasons why I went back. Plus, really, I knew like there was more. There was more that I could do.
I felt like for me, it's because I dropped out of GED. But if I would have known sooner, like I would just rather get a certification because I'd rather work.
Trade school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Votech in high school.
Oh
I mean,
man, it's been so tough.
Everything does not have to be the same path to a different career.
Are you a
I mean, they're
homeschool
all-
mom or you your kids in school?
They're in school, but I mean, I think either one, every kid is different. So you can't cookie cutter each kid into each situation. They're so different. So it's better to kind of, tailor it to your kid. Some kids will flourish in the public school system, and I think others need to be homeschooled. You just have to read your kid, I think, and depending on where you are.
Still feel for me like, and that's one thing is like I know it's different, but like when we went to school, let's be honest, when we went to school, it was more about networking and meeting people, learning on your own time, and not, I love computers. I have fun with computers, but I just don't think there should be so much into testing.
I totally agree.
And it's just too much because like Oliver has anxiety
From it. Yep.
Yeah, just because he's like, it's always a test. There's always a
It's
test.
too much
Or you said
pressure
homework.
too early.
Huh?
And he has all this homework.
4 days a
now.
week. No, I love
Wow.
Bivy, a great school, but I think if you take a step back, and there's a point in our life where for us, we got to do what's best for our kid.
No
Because I can't
doubt.
sit there and lie to my kid. Like Emily has a master's, but I went to Full Sail for Art Institute. Like I'm proud of that. I'm proud of having a GED.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
And but
Yeah.
that's where we get mixture with our family, and
Mhm.
it's I just, as a father now, like that was kind of tough for me, like watching my kid get stressed.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And he's 6.
Yeah.
So
Good.
that
Kids
hurts.
don't need to know anxiety and stress.
No.
let us handle the bills.
Yeah.
Right.
They
Like
have plenty of time to be an adult. Let them
Yeah.
be
Oh, that's
naive, innocent
terrible.
little kids.
so you're from Ocean Springs. Your mom did it for 35 years. So you are the Highway 57 Ocean Springs family. You're born and raised in that area.
No, so I grew up right off of Halstead, and we moved out actually what was annexed into Gaucher. So when I was close to 10 or so, I think. And so that area, it was out at Old Shell Landing. And then my mom passed away when we lived out there. So my dad and I and brother moved into some apartments, the reserve. We kind of moved back and forth there, from country to city. And then, like I said, it got annexed shortly after that. And so then I kind of spread my wings and went out, my own path, but really been in Ocean Springs my whole life and don't plan on going anywhere else. I think this is one of the best parts of the country.
So what made you go say I want to run for Ward 6? Like, take me to that first day where you're like sitting with your husband, which your husband's a firefighter from Moss Point, which I found out.
Yes.
Yeah, but people love him. Like that will tell you, like people, like
That
I've
makes
been
two of
asking around,
us.
huh?
That makes two.
Sounds
of
like
us.
he's pretty good. Is Mike's his name?
Correct.
Yeah. But so, okay, your husband's a first responder. Like when you're sitting there at the dining room table, like you're like, honey, I'm about to run. What was y'all's reaction together as a family?
I would have to say that he is my biggest fan. So he is along for any kind of crazy ride. And I mean, he really encouraged me to become a nurse practitioner. I'm like, that's a lot of school, money, stuff like that. So he was encouraging. He's like, you got this, you go ahead. And so, we talked about this, and I mean, we didn't want to be annexed. So, we kind of were starting to get into politics and see how that works. And
So the annex thing kind of drove y'all.
yes.
Yeah, that's I understand that. I could
So
see
we felt like, or I personally felt like our voices were not heard, getting out. And I thought, well, okay, we're going to voice our concerns, and, it's going to be received and listened to, and that's going to affect something. And I didn't feel like that happened at all. I felt like it was just going to go through irregardless. And I felt like, wow, you should listen to the people in that area and what they want and go with that. That's your job, is to kind of represent them.
that's
And
kind of
so,
shitty.
I mean, I felt like my voice, there was no voice, so.
And how long is this going for?
Oh gosh. Well, I remember thinking last Christmas, that I thought, I think I'm gonna run. I can do this. I think I'm gonna run.
But it was built on your
voice.
annex. Like you're like, you're not annex me, and you're like complaints of like, hey, let's not do this, and nobody heard.
Yeah, I mean,
I would do.
I want to be the voice, and so, I mean, I'm pretty
cheers
tenacious.
I know you're not drinking, you're just drinking water, but I'm drinking
That's
this
okay.
cut above. But
I'm pretty tenacious, and
that's messed up.
I think that takes something like that in politics.
That's kind of like if I look at that situation as like, that's a real reason to run. If you're gonna run to be liked, you're never gonna win.
No,
you run to fight for something. You run to stand up for something.
I assume there will be a fair number that don't like me, and that's okay.
It's not supposed to be
about
about
that. You can't make
that.
everybody happy.
No.
I think that if you're representing your ward and you're listening to your constituents and you're their voice and that's your guide, I think you'll be good. There'll always be something negative said. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're doing it for you got a purpose to do it. You're not doing it to be liked.
No.
You're gonna like, that's stronger than you've ever. I'm telling you, like, just the people that I've met in my life, that's strong. Like, that's a strong way to take. I was asking her, I was like, well, she's gonna have to have a reason. Like, you got to have a reason to do this. You don't do it to be liked. Because, like, I'll tell her, like, her husband Cal is one of my best friends, like a brother to me. But like, Cal is Cal. That's Cal, and he ain't changing.
Nope.
Like, and he doesn't even tell people. Like,
I have much respect for
like
that.
he just got done painting a camper for a Jeep, or a top for a Jeep, just for free to help somebody.
No.
He don't need a thumbs up.
No.
But he loves me because he wants me to just show him social media. It's like, but if I show him, he goes this way.
Yeah.
But that's a real person.
Yep.
Cal, like, these are like, and that's what people need though, is leadership. I always say, if like Cal ever wanted to run for mayor, I'd jump on Cal all day long, because he's going to tell you this way, black or white.
Treat people. You know what you're working with.
Yeah, but I like the fact that you and your husband are sitting there going like, shit, like y'all have reached out. Now you want to do it. That kind of makes sense to me. The annex thing drives me crazy.
I feel like talking to my neighbors, and I've gone down the street and said, just make sure I'm not the only one. And I mean, literally they feel the same as me. And I don't like that I feel like they almost feel hopeless. And so I want them to have hope. And, we talk about, I see them on the road. I saw, some neighbors this morning going to vote, and, their face just brightened. They're like, good luck, good job. And we're glad you're running. And I mean, that fuels me. I could see the hope in their face that I'm going to listen to them.
You're like kind of like Walking Tall. You ever seen that movie? Got to with The Rock. I mean, there's an older version, but
I can't recall it.
So Walking Tall, it's pretty much based on a town being taken over by a casino. And
I think I've seen it.
Oh yeah, one of the Rangers came in, like he came in and was like, you can't change like this.
Mm-hmm.
And he stood and became the sheriff. But that's kind of where your situation is, because you're not doing it for money. I mean, you're a nurse practitioner, let's be honest. So you're definitely not. I'm just trying to roll out my thoughts in my head.
I would do it if it was volunteer.
Yeah, that's kind of dope.
And I volunteer for our son. We have a travel soccer team, the Wahoos. My husband coaches voluntary stuff, and I'm the manager for it. But I think when someone volunteers, then you really see what their motivation is. You know, they're there because they really want it. It's not the money's not the motivation. I think that really
Community's the motivation. Yeah, it's like because you
and
don't.
seeing these kids, some kids that, you know, maybe to toot my husband's horn, you know, he's a kid guy. He has more patience than I do with kids.
At least you're honest about that.
He does. He's Mr. Mom. He was the stay-at-home dad, and I worked. He's just better with little kids. The elderly are more kind of my population. I'm not a baby person. My husband was more the baby person. I'm more like 6, 7 and up kind of ages. And
You're to the point, mom.
What's that?
Like you're to the point, mom. Like you're like,
yeah.
if you have an idea, all right, well, tell me how your idea works.
Yep.
Okay.
So
That's,
you know,
me and him the same way. Like I could see myself. I'm getting a little older, more insane, but like I miss Oliver as a baby.
Who stayed up?
I
at
was
night?
thinking that.
Did you?
Really?
Yeah, well, she was Oliver's premature.
But
Remember
you
that?
stayed up at night. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
no, she was war. Like, yeah, that I think I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I love that part. It was a lot on her because like she had to like at times she was driving an hour to work, hour back. Yeah, it was just a lot. It's a lot. I mean, because we didn't do because she had an emergency C-section.
Yeah.
8 months. Like I was the one going, don't do breastfeeding. Like you're already just I was good on formula. We'll be fine. No, I think for me at the very beginning, that was like my thing. And to see her, she's more into the hands-on conversation, schooling. Like she's like, oh, we're about to homeschool Oliver. And she's like, all right, well, curriculum. She's like, no, I need more ink and paper. I'm going to build my own curriculum. I'm like,
oh wow.
all right, no, it's already there.
That'd be my husband. Yeah.
Today, look, to be honest with you. So we're vacation right now.
Mhm.
So today they had practice homeschool.
What? How did he practice?
No, he did a full school in the morning here.
It gives a lot of leeway. It really.
She's like we're gonna do like it's practice homeschool with a whiteboard. It's everything lessons. She's in.
No, she's gonna do a great job.
Oh, amazing job! Oh, amazing job. I was more like your husband with the baby stuff. Like Oliver's in jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my husband's done. Yeah, he's done a fair share of that.
Yeah, so it's I do respect it because like I'll tell you, like I asked people around the name and his name came up, and so he serves for Moss Point full time. Runs and fires.
And they have some big ones.
I don't want to be that person, huh?
They have some big ones.
Yeah, I know.
Some big fires,
Yeah,
you know,
Moss
older
Point.
homes, and they go on fires pretty regularly.
Yeah, it's Miss Snowden. I'm not gonna give her full name. Miss Snowden's the Moss Point detective.
How are with her husband, huh?
You?
We were talking about
dang it.
He said you better give me a shout out.
Well, but Kimberly is the detective at Moss Point.
That's funny.
Okay.
So I could see that being a passionate thing too. And I don't now it makes sense though with the annex. That's annex shit is stupid. Because like you're fighting over your development, you're fighting over money for the city. I mean, it's a war.
It's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough that, you know, overnight, you know, things change drastically. You know, there's people putting in sewer lines one week, the next week they're literally like 5 houses going up. I mean, it's just crazy overnight. Ocean Springs Road, there's road work all over. I mean, overnight, you know, life just changed, and it's just so much, so fast. I mean, I think we all liked our quiet pace, and it overnight, you know, if it was paced a little more, it would be a little easier to stomach, but it's rapid and it's just, it's a little disturbing.
So y'all like fully annexed now?
Mm-hmm.
You're Goshen.
Ocean Springs.
You're Ocean Springs?
Mm-hmm.
So the Van Cleve, so you were a part of the county.
We were. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so that there's a one small section, so you live there.
So up kind of halfway between, you know, 90 and Highway 57. So we were, you know, heading up towards 57 way, and then past us is a lot of undeveloped land. And
churches.
There's one, I think it's called The Church, that's up a little bit, you know, before you get to our road. So, you know, it was kind of country living, you know. I mean, I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I do, I'm watching Little House on the Prairie and, you know,
Are you lying about this?
No, legit. Highway
Oh,
to
shit.
Heaven. Oh, I love it. Because it's, life has enough stress, and there's always some kind of, on modern shows there's always some kind of tilt or a spin or something, but these old shows, they're simple. You can come back to it and you haven't missed a lot. It always ends with a feel good story. I mean, or westerns, those are good. The
So I've been doing
Rifleman.
so I'm more into aliens. So I've been doing the investigation alien show on
I don't
Netflix.
wanna watch
But my
aliens too
household
much.
is mainly home improvement.
I do
reruns.
like those too.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I can see that. So how big of a change? So you've seen it was all full development. Like, so now I will say that Ocean Springs does have good water. The water system, it has been pretty good versus like, I think Goshen got better at it, but
Yeah.
I was a part of like the Goshen area when I used to live in Hickory Hills. But I was got the town hall meeting that when they did a partnership with Clearwater Solutions.
Mhm.
I was living there, and I remember Adam Coolidge. Shout out to Adam. He's a great guy. He was my neighbor, but they were like, "Well, we we used to have Goshen used to have their own utility company,
Mhm.
and then they got rid of it and they signed a contract with Clearwater Solutions."
Mhm.
Well, I was like, "This is kind of weird," and all of a sudden, everything went up like double. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I was really fired up. So I was like, wait a minute. So I get the town hall meeting. I remember sitting there, and the city was sitting there talking. And this is before Casey Vaughn was the mayor. But they're like, well, our bills are going up. The churches, like the water bills, they're charging like for a half-inch pipe is like $75 a month.
Mm-hmm.
They just seem like my mattress store went from like $35 of cold water just to use the restroom to like $200 a month. It went up. And I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, that's when I was like, okay, I'm wearing a dry fit. I'm just hanging out. And they're like, well, we've reached out to Jackson County Water Authority and they're not responding. I'm like, hey, Crow, Chris Rose, who works for Jackson County Water Authority. I'm like, we need a meeting. He's like, what meeting? I said, I'm at town hall meeting in Goshen about Clearwater Solutions and the Jackson County Water Authority about their partnership. He goes, all right, we'll meet you Friday. I think it was a Wednesday. We'll meet you Friday. And I was over there. I said, hey, Pastor. I said, you want to come with me to the meeting? And they're like, and the WLX was there. They're like, yeah. I said, all right, cool. So then we go to that meeting, so with the attorney, and I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, it went back down. And I was like, oh, I was more worried about the churches. Because I mean, I believe, I have my own belief in God. I pray to God every night. It's my belief how I do. Like, I think believing in God for me is Carter's Champions, my nonprofit. It raised over $500,000 for the hospital and memorial. I literally believe in God, but like, you don't go after churches with water. You don't do that. Like, especially they have a very low, like the real churches, the churches that really do care, they don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And you're a big part of the church. Like, they don't have that money.
Mhm.
So you're going to take their water bill from $100 to $600.
That hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. And it hurt me. It made me mad. So then I just started adding meetings. It's amazing when you network with people. I think that's the same thing that, like, I could tell in your heart, like I see that you're frustrated about. It's like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to run, this is the best time to run.
I've heard that.
Yeah. And that's, if you're because your heart's like, you're just telling us you're on vacations and you sleep in your car.
I'm all about pinching pennies. I mean,
Well,
and
when's the last
I
time
would
you
do
slept
that
in a
for the
car?
city. I mean,
Think about it.
3 months ago. I don't know. I mean, maybe I probably dozed off. And me and Emily were going home, and she left me in the car.
I was like, oh, I don't know.
No, but I mean, I'm very like, I'm also too like, I could see that. Like, I don't have to have anything fancy. A good spot for the head. A couple hours, but like that, you're not like, because it's going to bring in more. I mean, you're bringing your family into this world of political. Like, the political world is different.
I did consider that.
Yeah.
They're a pretty tough bunch.
But you knew this coming into it. Yeah, no, like I said, like when two reached out to me, and this is just it is, guys. Like, before the podcast, I had two in Cal, and I'll have them after the podcast. If this is my last podcast, so be it. But there are people in my life that can call me and be like, hey, two's one of them. Because you have that relationship, you have that family where you're like, okay, right. But then I make fun of her husband because I'm like, your wife's coming over for you? Are you serious? I thought,
hey, honey.
But yeah, I mean, but she believes in you, and that's when I knew two, though, because I knew everything I know about two, Cal, is about people, family first, community. And 2 is like she believes in
Exactly.
you. That was like kind of like a stamp of like, okay, that's
Then I say that I said, okay. I said, you're right. I'm vouching for her.
no, that was I was asking.
Oh,
That's-
I wouldn't have done it. You know that.
I feel like
I
it's
know that.
sad that like you're frustrated. Like it's sad that like your situation is being annexed. I mean, it's but how do you ever get in politics if you don't have a certain situation? You're not doing it because you're like, I just want to get in politics. There's got to be something that
No.
wrecks your home.
That's
That
pretty
wrecks
accurate.
your
Yeah.
home. Yeah, no, I'm
No, I mean that. Yeah, when it comes to your back door, and I guess, you know, in
She said-
retrospect, I should have been
no, I
more.
was just telling her. No,
Oh.
no, you can keep going. I'm just telling. Hugh just commented on her.
When
But-
I in
but-
retrospect, that, you know, if I wish I would have been, even though I was in the county, I should have been more informed. I mean, to be honest, I should have kept up anyway and kind of, you know, seen what was coming and been more informed. And now I try to educate people. You know, do you know who your alderman is? You know, do you go to meetings? Because you really should be. You shouldn't wait till it knocks on your back door. You know, so there's a quote, and I can't remember who says it, and I'm going to butcher it, but something about they came for such and such, and I wasn't such and such, so I didn't say anything. And have you heard this? Anyway, I can't remember it.
Just keep
I'll
just
have
do
to
whatever.
get
We'll figure it out.
But it's something like, and basically, so you don't stand up or say anything until it comes to you, and then it's too late. So, I mean, it's kind of that, you know, I just felt compelled that I could either sit home and complain, or I could do something about it.
But you don't even know like this one thing that really fired you up you could be the next governor. That's how this world works.
If
It
the
really
Lord
works.
takes me there, then I
But
guess.
it works. But yeah, but it
you're-
works
you're
that way
right.
in life, like where you get to a point like, but you have to have purpose.
Yes.
Like I fought for the Sands. Like I said, I fought for the Sands for development for the people in the community. I didn't fight for the Sands because I want to be like, hey, look at me, I'm cool.
Mhm.
I always like irks me. You know, that's a situation where you're like, no, you're like, you're probably, I mean, you probably made the mistake of not like getting more involved, which I always believe people should get involved sooner. Because I mean, I'm the person that votes. I have a lot of friends I know that don't vote.
Yes.
I
No,
know
I
it.
voted, but I just didn't. I didn't.
Oh, I have an
understand what
app
was
that I can
going
go
on
troll
with
them.
my-
Like, no, you don't vote. Now I have friends that have felonies. I have several friends that have felonies that can't vote.
Yeah.
They wish they could vote, but there's a lot of people that just don't ever. They, I mean, but then you also have to look too. Is like life's passing us by, so like you know from bills to work to stress. I mean,
Kids.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, look at your pool. Okay, how long did it take you and Cal to dream about that pool? 15 years.
20.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's a real dream. I do troll, like, but it's a real dream. But I'm saying like you have goals and you have certain situations. So on the political stuff, you can't feel sad about it, but like you got to like get involved.
Yeah.
Especially if somebody knocked my door, like somebody came in my backyard, I'm going for mayor. I'm going for it. I mean, this is a political podcast. People suffer. Like you didn't do anything wrong. It's just look, you've been serving their coast, saving people's lives. Like you've been a part of this community. I would never want to be a nurse practitioner. No offense. I'm upset about it, but
No,
it's a hard work. I don't want to be that person that has to talk to the family member and break the news. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that numb person. No, I don't. So you can't I love the fact that you're like, I'm in. Because they're literally like they're beating at your door and you're like, all right. I mean,
I'm committed.
You don't have a bumper sticker. I want one. I mean, you're right here with Corey Christie. Corey Christie, I tell you what, came on last week.
I will get you one.
Corey Christie has been his wife Lauren. I mean, they had making groceries in Biloxi.
Yeah.
And he wanted to run 4 years ago, and he couldn't run because of like work wise, more pushed against him losing his job. And,
Really?
yeah. I mean, it's kind of private, not really.
Yeah.
But Corey is a good person. He's the reason you see he started like at WAMA, like all the graffiti and the murals. It's all Corey. And then he moved to Biloxi, and then he started doing all the color, like anything you see painting and on the coast is a Corey Christie sign off. It was cool to have them on Thursday.
Okay.
Yes, I saw part of that.
He's a good person, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Genuine good person, just a great person.
Yeah.
That's what we
They
need.
want to do good.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing you're doing. Where it's like, all right, put me in, coach.
Yes.
Now I can have a conversation. Like,
Yeah.
well, I mean, so what's your goal on like? Are you going to knock doors? Where are you going to like? What is your like? You made your announcement. You
Mhm.
sign the documents, you're in it.
Well, the documents. So January is more documentation part. So knocking on doors. I've got a Facebook page. So I like questions. I want people to know. Ask me if I don't know. I'll find out. It. I don't think it's one sided. I don't think it's just all me. I mean, I don't think any alderman can or should do it alone. I need help from people. Everybody in the community has something to bring to the table. Different, maybe their occupation or maybe things they've just been interested in and they've researched and they can educate me. And so I can say, oh, okay, I see your point. We need to work on that. If someone has a problem, I'd like to hear their one solution. Okay, well, tell me what you would do to fix it and we can figure it out together and I can see if that's
As long
actually
as they don't
something
complain
legit.
about the trash can. You got to have the.
But it's all relative.
I
Maybe
know.
that's what really, I
I
want to
think-
hear that too.
I think that, but the tough thing that I've realized though is some of that stuff, guys, you got to take into consideration. Like, you got to talk about like what's the next chapter of y'all's community.
Yeah.
Like you are gonna have like sometimes my
Tough decision.
Yeah. So my we're having a house built across the street. Shout out to Jock. Him and Emily hit it off. They at first he was building a house. They were blocking trash cans and the mailbox, and she was losing her shit, and I was losing my shit for my girl. So like she got snappy, and then I get snappy, and but what it came down to was like there is a system. My garbage people do know me.
Mhm.
Like it got to the point when they're developing, like the garbage truck was backing in my driveway while I was helping them get situations because like we have a small road, so we have to work
Yeah.
together. And but there has to be like you can't. I just think in complaints you have to have like an ongoing complaint for
Mhm.
small stuff. You have to have more of a complaint of, why is that pothole or why has that pothole been there for 2 years? Like,
yeah.
Yeah, like
Things
why,
like that. Yeah.
don't do like that. I've just read some of my people that I'm not going to name their names in political situation that I'm on their social media, just see their stuff. And some of the complaints are like, well, my trash didn't get picked up today. Well, maybe the guy that was doing your trash, his mom passed away. Like maybe he couldn't make it because he has family. And that was one of the situations that you have to learn that people.
Yeah.
But that's my difference between people that complain. Like, you want to complain about small stuff because you're bored, one thing, but complain about certain things that you see, like, high speed stuff during bus stops, or I mean that's some serious stuff. Like,
Or
especially
habitual things. If the garbage was not picked up habitually, a one-time thing, it'd have to be.
you'd be surprised
a
at
little more significant.
complaints. Just keep that clear. For
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
We do that
but
already.
I mean, I think
we do that already.
what?
Process complaints. When we see a patient, we have to process. What do I really need from this? Do I need to focus on this or I don't?
So you're
It's just right.
yeah.
We're trained in that manner already.
Yeah.
To think we have to pull. What's the big picture here? Right.
Good
And
point.
then we
Yeah.
have to ask
Oh
questions.
shit! So you probably are qualified.
I mean, that's kind of. How often do you go to the doctor
That's
if
what
you're well? Do you go when you're well, or do you go when you have a complaint?
Complaint.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, two's got it. Yeah, nail on the head there.
Ooh, look at you.
It's like
How'd y'all meet?
Oh, you tell the story better than I do.
Oh man, so we've never worked together, but the only time that we've been together side by side, I was her I was her preceptor. I was a nurse.
Oh,
I was
good stuff.
probably into nursing 2 years, so that's still new.
She was a pro.
No,
Don't
I
let her fool
remember
you.
telling my mentor boss, and I said, I don't think that I should be teaching students. Like, I'm just learning myself. And she said, you'll be okay. And she walked off. And so she was a student of mine for that.
Little snippet.
Right before you graduate from the nursing program, you have to do a preceptorship. I don't remember how long
Use
it
smaller
was.
words.
Okay. So like an intern.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Does that work?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I got you, my peep.
yeah. So she was my little student for that little short period of
Mm-hmm.
time, and that's when we first met. And that was it. She gave me this book.
Chicken
And-
soup for the nurse's soul. Was that it?
Yes, and she
Ooh. I used to get the book for like what was that for us? Like when we were in school. What was that? It was that, but it wasn't for nurses. It was the other one.
but they have it for
Oh, I
almost
remember.
everything.
Yeah.
Right? So she
Those are
bought
good
me
books.
so she bought me a book, and I remember she wrote a message in it. And I kept
I
that book
forgot about that.
forever.
That's right. Yeah.
I kept it forever. I don't know where it is right now since we moved, but we crossed paths again because I was a nurse practitioner at that time, but there was someone in her family that was in an accident, and we were on call, so we were part of the trauma. As far as doing surgery and whatnot. And her family member, I guess he talked about me. to
Oh,
her.
yes. So, too, used to work with Dr. Drake at Bienville Ortho. I worked there too, but with a different doctor at a different time. So
Way
our stories
later.
are so similar. It's so weird. We were really separated at birth. Our children, both boys, have the same name, but middle and first. And both girls have the same names, but middle and first.
I'm gonna say it
Totally
better.
unintentional.
Oh no. I'm gonna say it better.
Yeah, go ahead.
You know Dominic and Grace.
Yeah.
Her kids, their middle names are it's Dominic and Grace. She has a boy and a girl, and it's Dominic and Grace.
And we did
And
this
didn't
not
know that.
knowing.
We did not know that. Then we found out we were like 2 days apart. Our birthdays are 2 days apart.
Yes. We're both about to have birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not weird?
I
So
mean, I think
we were
God
separated
puts
at
everybody
birth.
together.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
So
I don't think it's weird at all
and I
for
think,
me.
You know, so her father-in-law, I guess he spoke about me whatnot to Julie. And then he came back and said, "Do you know a Julie Messenger?" And I didn't know her at that time because she wasn't married at that time to Mike. And I said,
Mhm.
"No." And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "I don't know that name." And he said, "Did you? I think she was a student or something like that." And I said, "There was this girl named Julie." I said, "But that wasn't her last name. It was Carson." And somehow it came out, and I know, because when he said, my daughter-in-law said there could only be one Tran. And I started laughing. I said, "They know me then. They know me. If they're going to say it like that." And it was
There's only one
her.
too.
Yeah. And it was this Julie. So but that was over a time span of over 10 years even.
Yeah, well, so when she called you and said she's running, what'd you say to her?
I'd been hearing about that annexation for a while from her. And I knew that it really laid heavy in her heart. And I listened. But I know Julie, and I just, not even just Julie, but Julie and myself, it's just like, we don't like to complain. I mean, we do complain or vent, but you can't expect change if you don't do anything differently. That we've been taught that.
Cheers. Yeah.
Right.
That's the hell I've been trying to do on the coast for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not going to work.
Mhm.
If you don't do anything differently, how can you get any kind of different result? So she had told me that she had been thinking about it. And I said, "You should. Why not?" I know where her heart is. I know what she wants to do. And she's got no other motive than wanting to do what's best for the community.
Yeah, because you could literally, this is my own words, but you could literally just go work part-time, make way more money than what a ward gets paid through part-time. Like if you want to do part-time, let's be honest, you guys are at a level now where if you want to do part-time work, you'd make more money and no headaches.
You can do travel nursing, and I
Yeah,
mean,
there's so much stuff y'all can do. Like,
but-
I mean, but that's like, that's got to, you want a person. I always say that, like, you don't want a person to run for a position for the money.
No.
When that happens, it's
money
scary.
shouldn't be motivation.
It motivates a lot of them.
If your needs are met, I mean, if your needs are met, if you can feed your family and you have a roof over your head, I mean, money's great, and it might sound cliche, but it doesn't equate to happiness. In fact, I think it may even make people more miserable.
But it is true though. I mean, I've been able to meet a lot of people where like they're full-time politicians,
Mm-hmm.
and it's cool. You know, I have podcasts. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's cool to have conversations with them, but like they're career politicians. Like they're like career-wise, like, you know, driven on their paycheck and relationships.
Yeah.
You're gonna see this world, and I mean, but there are people that
I've learned more. I feel like Pandora's box would be a good definition.
We have on a podcast called Biloxi, December 5th, with me and Ivan Spinner. It's really called Biloxi Cheer Dad Pandora Box. That's going to be a crazy one, but it is Pandora. You have to open this up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I think it's healthy to have everything on the table. I'm a pretty blunt, upfront person. If you ask me a question, you may not like the answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I just think it's better and healthier that way.
The only thing that concerns me just a little bit, though, like my concern a little bit is, you know, you're going to have to go through a lot of like, you're going to knock doors
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to spend a lot of time with the community. You're just not that person. Like, you're never going to be bought. I can tell you that right now. Like, nobody's going to buy you. Like, because you're like, no, I'll just sleep in the car. I don't even,
That's right.
like,
Pretty much.
but
I
that's
don't need much.
it's just, I just saying your next chapter in your life is just, to be honest with you, is going to be tough. It's going to be tougher
I
than
think that's
nurse
accurate.
practitioner. Because you're going, when I believe in political stances, I always tell my friend, like, I'm really into this like political world. Like, you're representing us.
Mhm.
You're not representing you're representing the community. You're standing up for the community. That's how I looked at, like, when I knew that about Carter's Champions when I first started, it was like I was selfish. When I first started Carter's Champions, I was kind of like, oh, this is cool raising money. But then I met the survivors.
Mhm.
And then I became selfless. And then
Mhm.
became me. It became me. It's like I wasn't the co-founder. I was just the guy in the middle of the room. I want to see how everybody on my board, how everybody's feeling, how everybody thinks. You know, people sick. Like I it's a situation where I do it for me. And this might give you good advice, but like I have to take about 2 to 5 minutes for me before I even go to like my cancer events,
Mhm.
because I know that I can't stop and be like, oh, you had cancer, cool, and walk past them while they're trying to open up and tell me their story.
Yeah.
That's another thing when you become that political person, though. It's like you're gonna have to do that. Just be ready for that. Like, be ready for a person that's like, hey, my water bill was $700 this month, and I only have $500 in the bank.
That's healthcare.
That's what I was going to say. That's the empathy
I
right there. It's
mean,
like,
I'm not
I
a,
hear
but
you.
I'm not a healthcare person. I'm
We've
just
been
telling you.
working
Yeah.
on trying
They're like,
to
no,
get
it's
resources for a patient for, for benefits and things like that. And you're always working, I hate to say, but against insurance companies. You know, this patient has something wrong and you need this test, but the insurance company doesn't agree. And you know that if it was their mother, they would get the test done. And this is someone's mother. So you have to treat them like it's your mother.
Mhm.
And so you do whatever you can to get that test, because you know, I mean, it might find something bad, but you need to find it. And like you said, then you have to have that talk. And, sometimes the patient will come in and complain of acid reflux. And at the end of the visit, they're crying, telling you about their son that just died. And I mean, they needed to talk about their acid reflux, but they really needed to talk about the other. So you just got to meet them where they are. And going back to what you said about being selfless, that's a gift, that to be able to be, selfless and give to other
Yeah.
people. That's more of a gift.
Changed my heart for the best.
It's
Oh, man,
amazing.
dude,
it's
I mean,
amazing.
Yeah, it shook me like you've never seen before. Like, it shook me. Like, I was like, oh, like, you can ask Emily. Like, she's like, I've completely changed my whole like feel, because like I'm actually changing and helping people while they're sick.
it's
Like,
a gift.
yeah, like it's like, but it's like you have to fully just open your heart to it.
Maybe you'll be a nurse practitioner one day.
Never.
I mean, I see it. I see it.
Some of the things
You've
you
got
say.
the heart.
No, I will never do that. I will literally just fight for my community. I will be this
you
underground
do.
radio that we have on right now, and I'll just do that, and I'll pick and choose who I care about and who I want on my show, and that's just life. Like, that's how I'm going to do it. I like the media aspect. I feel like my parents, like I said, my stepdad, he's an attorney and a lobbyist. He's done a lot of great things on this coast. And that was one thing that we were talking about. It's like, he looked at me and goes, one thing you ever promised me is you'll never run. Because I've been offered to run, and I was like, you'll never run. I was like, why? And it's like, because you do more work on your podcast in your PJs. Like, it's true. But it is a voice. I want to, but it's, but like I said, like, you're like, you didn't come in like, yeah, no, hey, I'm Julie. I just want to, I want to run for war. You're like, my house got annexed, and my neighbors are sad, and
Upset.
me and my husband are praying about this, and we're just going to go in. Like, that's real political talk. Like, you want to have a person that does it because they want to make a better change for their community, not for themselves. Like, you'll be the last one. Like, you'll be the last one to be able to, you're going to have her give you a glass of wine and slapping you on the back going, good job. That's about as far as you're going to get. Now, I looked at that, like, Ricky Audemont is one of my favorite political people. I met him at the DMV. We both lost our license. We met at exit 50, like literally exit 57. And 2 weeks later, I went to his campaign. A week later, we just developed friendship. Oliver was up. He was at Oliver's baby shower. We've developed our friendship, and I was like, dang. I mean, Ricky makes a good living, like a great living. but like he owns a home inspection company called Hibbs. But he came here from South Louisiana,
Mm-hmm.
worked at Dell Champs
I
as
remember. I remember that.
as a manager, and just love these people. So like Ricky is like, he's still gonna wear the short blue jeans. All right, he's gonna wear the blue jeans and the leather
I
boots.
wasn't aware. Okay.
No, but he just like he walks downtown, he walks the community, and he treats it like it's his personal like family. Like he doesn't like he's not the guy you can't buy Ricky. Ricky's not going to be at the bars with you all night. Like me and him might have a drink and go every now and then together. But like Ricky's walking the streets of the city, and in his mind, it's how we can make a better change. I mean, it's like dude makes way more money than he knows. He don't even have to worry about things in life, but he worries about the city. That's you and I'll tell you that's one thing I'll compare is Ricky. Like, dude, Rick, you ever seen Ricky's house? He works his butt off for it, but like he's got a really beautiful home right behind Burger King. But like he doesn't like you never know he has it. Like when you see Ricky, he wears cargo blue jeans or khaki, and then he wears leather boots and white socks. And he does home inspections, and before he goes to bed, he reads all the home inspections. His wife Lisa's a doctor.
Doesn't sound relaxing.
No, but that's his life. That's what he.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a person like her. So I'm just explaining when Ricky got into politics, it was similar to that. Like Ricky don't care. Like Ricky can go buy him a Ferrari if he wants. Ricky is not that person. He's just not that person. But I've seen such a better change in Ocean Springs because of Ricky. I have sincerely like seen a person that's like in it for the community.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I've ever told him that, but probably gonna listen to it. But he's genuinely a good person. Like he got in the same reason you got in. He just wanted to make a better community. People like that win. That's the ones that win. You're not bought, are you?
No.
How big's your? I mean, who's behind you? Your husband and God.
I put it in His hands, so wherever it goes is fine by me, because that's where I
just
put
it
it.
is, right?
You've been nervous lately. Like how you been feeling since you've made the announcement?
Honestly, I'm not nervous about that because again, I put it in His hands. So whatever happens, He's got it. I'm development down our way on Ocean Springs Road and how it'll change my day-to-day life. That has me concerned. But as far as alderman, no, I'm not concerned.
How much change is about to come?
Well, there's about 200 acres kind of behind right where I live that I think there's going to be big development there. It's a lot of wetlands. I think somewhere around 70% wetlands. So that kind of concerns me. I'm a country girl in the city. I love my chickens.
She's got a little mini farm.
I love it.
Do I
I'm
look
telling
like
you,
a
Little
mini
House
farm
on the
kind of girl?
Prairie.
I don't.
I would go back to
You're
that.
probably becoming one.
Yeah.
I mean,
How many acres you got?
About 17.
That's a lot on that road.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of land on that road.
I like being in the country. So like chickens and sheep and, that kind of thing. So I see bobcat in my front yard, foxes, deer, hawks. I mean, all this wildlife that, it concerns me. If you fill in their habitat, what's going to happen?
Is your house like a fancy home or is it a ranch style home out?
Would you say it's fancy? I think most people probably say it's fancy. I don't know. Would you say it's fancy? I think
they
people
have
would say
brick
it's
inside.
fancy.
I mean, your house is fancy.
My house is gout.
My furniture doesn't match.
Your house too, huh?
My furniture doesn't match. It's hand-me-downs. My coffee table and my TV, set thing is where my father-in-law made that, and my couch came from Big Lots. The other couch was a hand-me-down. I have a stump for my table next to.
Is
my
it a brand new home or
couches.
old ranch home?
No, they built
It's not a ranch home. What style is it? I
mean,
I'll have to show you a picture.
When did you build that?
About 11 years ago. We've been there about 11 years.
So my family home I grew up on my grandma, so in Latimer.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's house, Cruthos Ranch Corner, house on the corner with the pond is my family home.
Mm-hmm.
And then down the road, my grandma had the catfish pond and the farm on the left.
Awesome.
So my grandma was Italian, but I grew up on a farm.
Oh, wow.
I actually grew up on we were probably more like 50 acres, 45.
Mm-hmm.
and small cattle. You know,
Mm-hmm.
my grandma always got me chickens for my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
which was pretty dope. I
You know
mean,
what you
what is he saying? Oh, Calvin, Chef Calvin, what's up, buddy? What's you saying? Ravenclaws for life. I love you. But no, so yeah, Calvin too is also the chef of Island View.
That's right.
If he's hearting it, he cares about this conversation. It's a serious situation. And it's like, so you have 17 acres. Now, who's the person behind the development though?
If I don't have paperwork and factual things, I don't want to say something that may be hearsay or gossip. That's not my style. So I
But do you know?
have suspicions,
Okay.
but I only want to speak truth and facts. So I don't want to mislead.
It's too like there's so full blown like, so it's going to be towards like 57 development. So it's like 200 acres towards 57.
All the way, yeah. But if you're looking at the new comprehensive plan they propose in making commercial development, more towards 57, basically right past where I live, start commercial and then a road going back to a very large subdivision. So my life will about to be very exciting.
I mean,
about to explode.
Will it benefit y'all on cheaper rates for property taxes, or I mean, how's all that going to work?
I don't see how it can make it cheaper. I think it'll only drive it up. And people say, well, it'll drive up the value of your home. That really only would benefit me if I was going to sell. I mean, right? I mean,
True.
How else would that benefit me? So
True.
I would rather it not drive my property value up because I don't plan on moving. So that doesn't really help me. And now if I'm paying sewer and water and garbage and, insurance goes up, what's the benefit?
If they're nice, if they're a good development, like let's say it's not like a shotgun development, I could see it. Shotgun developments are scary. Section 8, y'all have Section 8 on 57 already, so that's another tough development. It depends on the development. Like if you're gonna, bring in like cross street from my house, they develop 2 houses. If they're built, it depends. Like if they're building smaller neighborhoods, but if you go into like a Section 8 development, it can change a lot. It can change.
Now that part I don't really have insight on, but I think it's high number houses in the thousands. That's a lot of people, a lot of traffic on a road that's 2-lane. That's a lot of traffic.
Oh, they'll push that before the gas station. Remember the gas? Like so, I'm 57 as when they first opened. Was it Tony's on the right? Yeah, it was Tony's. Yeah. I was there at Culioca's, but I'm saying you got to the point where it's like,
yeah.
And now it's shut down and development, but I could see them try to do. Maybe they'll definitely have to like completely change the 2-lane.
Oh yeah, there's no way that would suffice. And I mean the trucks with the weight coming in and out, and I mean most of that being wetlands, you're gonna have to. I mean, if I would say leave them and work around it, but that's just my opinion. The wetlands.
Well, if you do wetlands, I think it's like an acre. You have to buy an acre, right? What's the law?
But how does that help the people that live around there and drainage issues?
No, but I'm saying that's still like one of the things. So like if you do wetlands, you have to buy. Oh, there's a lot of wetlands down here. There's a lot of wetlands down here. There's a lot of development that you've been to that's wetlands.
Yep.
I mean, Shell Landing's wetlands.
Yep.
Majority of Shell Landing. I grew up at Shell Landing. I watched it get built. It was Ryan Bowden's dad, Mr. Crawl. I stayed at his house while he built the place. We got Davis Love III. I got to meet him. He designed it. It's fascinating. But we're like one of the first houses in there. But that was all wetlands. Shell Landing was pretty much all wetlands. I think that's the situation. It depends on developments coming in there. This is me being like, if it's going to be like a heavy development, if it's a Section 8 development, or it's going to be, I'd say I like a good like 25 house neighborhood, 20. But with the ones that go like 100,
I mean, Shell Landing's like what, 100? I don't know.
It took so long to get to 100 Shell Landing.
I know. We're almost close.
That many houses are back there?
Yeah.
We're
getting close.
We're getting close to fill them up.
I've never driven past where your house is.
I know. People think there's only one street in there. That's it. They think it's my house.
Yeah,
Our
I mean
street.
that's the house. So I mean, why go further? There's no
But
need,
the
right?
situation too is like, my neighbor, like they built 2 houses. My neighbor next door, he bought the properties across the street for like, I don't know, 70, 80 grand, 100 grand. So they didn't want neighbors
Mm-hmm.
right there. So there's
Yeah.
different people, different
Yeah.
walks of life. I mean, that kind of comes down to it. I guess the situation though is like 57 is going to have to, like, if you're going to go full blown 200 acres on 57, that's going to be a huge development. It's going to be a massive undertaking. We're not talking
Yes.
about 5 acres, 10 acres.
No.
Like
That's huge.
Yeah, 200 acres is a lot.
Yeah.
Did they ever put letters in your mailbox?
What, to buy my house?
No. Did they?
Oh yeah. No, well, not the
What?
developers. No, I mean just just extraneous companies. Just different. Hey, we buy houses for cheap, and I throw that away. I'm not moving.
Well, this is kind of like your folks. Like this, your home is like this house to me. I think we paid 150,000 for this house.
Mm.
We got close to half acre if you go all the way back.
Awesome.
But I'm never leaving here. This is my because I always shared bedrooms with my brothers,
Yeah.
Oh,
and that's life. Like
yeah. Sweet. You build a bond.
Yeah.
I have 3
I'm
older
never getting rid
siblings.
of this place. Like
Yeah.
we'll go. Emily's parents have a place in Lemerton. They have like 120 acres. I'll build
Awesome.
I'll build a little cottage there, but I will never leave this place.
No
My
way.
son will finish first grade. Like he'll finish everything in his life in this home.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll continue to,
Memories are made.
because I never had, like, that was a big thing for me, is like not having my own bedroom. Never, like, that was, yeah, having your own master, sick. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Come on, you're a mom. Like,
Yeah.
come on, let's
I
be
had to
honest.
share a room with my sister, which I didn't mind, and I mean that's awesome. 3 older siblings, it's part of being that's not a big family, but you make memories, and who knows? I mean, you just make family memories.
It's nice having your
priceless.
own bedroom, though.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
kids take over no matter what.
That's
Like-
what I was like. I got quiet. I was like,
Yeah, but it happens. I mean, but I'm saying for
Wow.
our personal, like, for us,
Yeah.
having your own
Have your
space.
quiet space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even
Go
though
back
like
to.
Oliver's in their bed 90% of the time, he's got toys in our tub. It took me the other day. I was cleaning our master bathroom
Mm-hmm.
because I just hadn't, we haven't done it, and I was just sitting there like cleaning around the tub because there's toys, drink cups. There's a lot of shit, but it looked good, and all of a sudden, boom,
The minute you get it clean, what's the point, right?
another Lego. But it's cool to have your own space and having that
Yeah.
space for my son, and having his, he has his own little Christmas tree in his bedroom, and he's going to show y'all earlier. I was like, hey man, like show them,
Aw.
but he wants to take you on a tour. He's proud of his spot, but there's really little room besides our bedroom. Like there's
Yeah.
space. I can see that with your home. That's kind of your thing, because this is your actual home. Like this is like your livelihood.
I mean, we've made so many memories there. My dad's also passed away, and I have memories of him sitting at the table there, and just I'm big about memories and family, and
I could tell you're
Yeah.
a good person. I could definitely tell you're a good person.
thanks.
So it's like so your home, when y'all built it, like what you said 10 years ago,
About 10 or 11. Mm-hmm.
was it about 2,500 square foot?
Yeah. Yep. About
This
that.
right here. So it's got a lot of family and memories, and
Mm-hmm.
I could see that's where I'm with you on the development stuff too. It's like, come on.
And I mean, you purchase the land, it's yours. That's your right as a landowner. But I mean, again, if there are wetlands involved, that changes things. I mean, to me, rules are rules. If that's if that's there, work around it. I think people would have more respect for you. You can utilize that in other ways. We don't have any bike trails where you like DeSoto, they have, but we don't have like legit bike trails you can take around. Why not give something to the community with it, work with it? You can compromise. I mean, I think there's a way to do that, but
200 acres, you better share some wetlands. You better like pull off the wetlands.
we'll see.
That's a lot if it's 200 acres. And you're saying 7%?
According to the comprehensive plan map, look like on there. About that.
Shit. I want to see this map. Do you have it on here now?
Is it in my car? No, I put it in my house. I usually keep it with me. I've got pictures. I'll find them on my phone. You
Yeah.
can look it up.
I mean, like I said, like if you do a property for me, if like, this is my personal, Everything is us talking about how we feel
Yeah.
property wise. But like if you do like a property of, I mean, let's say 10 acres, right?
Mhm.
And if 2 acres are wetlands, that's okay. But if you're doing a property of 200 acres, if my math,
Your math is mathing.
so let me just no, but hold on. So it'd be 60 acres of what? That would be 140 acres of wetlands.
That sounds about right. That's a lot. That's
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, that's going to change things. Whether you mitigate and you have some somewhere else that doesn't, that changes the character of what's immediately there and for the people around it. My husband, he's a big bad fireman, but he'll come home and he'll be out there weeding the grass by hand, and he'll be out there in his trees pruning. He's planted so many live oaks on our property, and he'll go out there. That's, I guess, his therapy. He's out there trimming the trees, and so they're nourished by this water that comes off, that it drains from that acreage back behind our house. And the trees that receive all that water, they've grown leaps and bounds. Trees in our front yard that don't get all that water, they're not as impressive. I mean, it's so
Have
it
you seen that
changes
much?
things.
Have you seen that much of like? Have you ever seen like so wetlands are across the street? Have you ever seen somebody put dirt in for wetlands?
They keep coming with it. I don't. I'm going to say no.
No, it's
What
it's insane. It's like,
Yeah,
I'm telling you, go like
hundreds and hundreds.
yeah, just
of
half acre.
uploads.
A half acre is like, I mean, I would say I watched 15, 20 trucks,
Yeah, I mean,
maybe more.
But
You're talking 100
I
for,
see.
for if you're saying 70% should be like close to wetlands at 200 acres. Am my math right on that?
I believe so. Yeah, that's
we said
it's a
200
lot.
acres,
Yeah,
right?
70%.
70% of that. Yeah, 140.
Yeah, so, but I'm gonna watch a half acre of dirt. It's just
That's
you
a
got
lot.
It
you have
blows
to,
your
you have
mind.
you have to compound it. Like you have to compound it.
To
Compound.
get it.
But it keeps going because it's
It just absorbs
like
in
building a plate.
almost.
yeah
That's a lot.
yeah. I mean,
It's crazy amounts of just red dirt, red dirt, red dirt.
compound. I mean just to lay the dirt. If I'm just to lay that dirt, it's going to take a couple of years.
That's what I'm thinking. 10 years maybe it will be. At
And if it's
fruition.
wetlands, you're not like you're guaranteed it's going to be all right. You're really, I mean, you're going to have any engineer company come out and check it out, but it's wetlands.
There's going to be some drainage issues, I'm sure. I just don't see how that'd be possible.
What the? I didn't know about. You didn't hit me with the 200 acres behind our house. Surprise! Shit.
Again, I go back to I would have been more involved, and so I'm just trying to put everything on the table so that people can make informed decisions, know what's going on, what we're working with. I know people are busy and their lives take over, but when it knocks at your back door, then you go, oh,
Yeah.
And so maybe I don't want other people to make the mistake I did. Don't wait then. Go vote. Like you said, go vote. Well, I don't think it'll matter. It does matter. Go vote.
It always matters.
Someone fought for your right to go vote. Go vote. Be informed. I'm not saying you have to go to every city hall meeting. Go to 4 a year. Get an idea. Know who your aldermen are. I mean, just educate yourself.
Did you feel like you slept? You really did. You felt guilty about you sleeping on that?
No doubt.
Yeah, I can see that. No, there's no way for 140 acres to be wetlands.
We'll look together.
I mean, I want to see it. Even 50 acres. Let's be honest. That is so much dirt you have to bring in. Like it's not structurally. It could be sound, but eventually it's still wetlands.
Right.
Wetlands are wetlands.
It's not stable.
I mean, if
It is for a little bit.
no. I mean, yeah.
It is for a little bit, but the bottom line is
Well,
Long term.
But
Mhm.
if you look at like a certain your space, so if it's like, I would say if it's like I said, like 5 acres, a couple acres of wetlands, they're all in the same area. But if it's only
everything, that's a lot of.
Jesus.
I mean, I imagine you have to put massive drains in that empty out into the bayou. I mean, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. That's where I say, everyone has something to bring to the table. Maybe
wetlands are swamps. If you don't know what that is, let's be honest. It's a swamp. Wetlands are swamps.
I mean, they stay wet,
And I mean, you can get to the core, but you can add. But yeah, I mean, structurally for your home, it's No.
I'd be concerned.
Dang, I didn't know this.
I didn't know either.
You lying to me.
I didn't know. And
So yeah,
but it ties into healthcare. You know how it ties into healthcare?
how?
You should go get your annual checkup. But I feel great. Right? But maybe we can pick up problems beforehand.
This is true. You don't look
Mhm.
old enough to be due for a screening colonoscopy, but they lower the age to 45. You're not
still
old
too
enough for
young.
that, are you?
Okay. So
Right.
I'm 38.
Okay, well,
But
But
so you compare that to wetlands?
well, no. It's just about
be proactive,
being
not
proactive,
retroactive.
not reactive.
Okay. Well, this
See.
is what
Yeah, I was gonna see. Yeah, be proactive, not reactive.
I just didn't know that development was like that many wetlands. That's a lot.
He's still mind blown. I could tell.
We'll look on
Yeah.
the city website. We'll find the
No, I mean,
comprehensive
yeah,
plan. and
I
I'll
am
show
city
you.
mind. I'm blown because
That's a lot.
it's a lot. I mean, it's a huge. Because I watch it myself. I've watched the trucks run in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot.
They're heavy, and I mean that road will be toast after 5 years of trucks full of red dirt back and forth. That's infrastructure would need to really be, up to par for that. I think.
All right, guys, we'll tune in. Say anything if you want to drop this right here, Julie. It's is it Julie Messenger? What do you say it?
Julie Messenger.
Messenger Ward 6 on Facebook. Pull her up. We got our links in there. And do anything you want to say?
Collision Depot's next.
But if you don't know anything what we're talking about at the very end, where I got kind of sad about it, you need to research wetlands. You need to research it. It is a serious situation. I do like the fact that you're saying, like, I mean, you're getting involved in politics because of a certain thing that rocked you, and I don't know, if you're gonna vote, you vote for a person that gets rocked. You don't vote for a person that just wants to be in politics.
No, they've got to have the heart in it. I think. I mean, just like anything, just with nurse practitioners. I mean, we went in for the heart of it. I don't think anyone really goes in, I'm going to make a lot of money. It's
No,
I want to
you'd
help
be miserable.
people. No, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of.
I love taking care of people. You talk about selflessness and that feeling you get. It's
a
that's what I
high.
said. Well, that's what I said.
is.
You could
Yeah.
be a nurse practitioner. You got some qualities. You said it.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do
That's what we said too.
All right, guys, we love you, and
Thanks for tuning
just
in.
if you got comments, reach out, and there we go. Love you guys.